Have you ever scrolled through your feed, seen a shocking headline, and instantly hit share? We've all been there. A story so wild, so unbelievable, you just have to pass it on. But what if I told you that this very impulse is being weaponized against us? Today, we're diving deep into the shadowy world of hoaxes and fake news, exploring the psychology that makes us so susceptible and uncovering an ancient yet incredibly relevant method to fight back. Let's start with a story. Remember the Momo challenge? A creepy-looking figure supposedly appeared in kids' videos telling them to do dangerous things. Panic spread like wildfire. Parents were terrified, schools issued warnings, and news outlets covered it extensively. It went viral globally. The only problem, it was a complete hoax. There were no widespread incidents of the challenge actually happening. It was a moral panic fueled by viral images and a compelling, scary story. This is a classic example of how misinformation works. It hijacks our brains. Minds are wired for stories, especially emotional ones. A shocking, fear-inducing narrative like the Momo challenge triggers our fight or flight response. The critical thinking takes a back seat, and our emotional brain takes the wheel. We feel a pressing need to protect our loved ones, so we share the warning. We don't stop to ask, is this actually true? We just react. This vulnerability isn't a personal feeling, it's a feature of human psychology. Cognitive biases play a huge role. There's the confirmation bias, where we tend to believe information that confirms what we already think. If you're already distrustful of a certain political party, you're more likely to believe and share a negative, unverified story about them because it fits your existing worldview. Then there's the novelty effect. Brains are attracted to new and surprising information. Bizarre headline like scientists discovered chickens are descendants of T-Rex is far more clickable than a nuanced scientific paper. The creators of fake news know this. They craft headlines specifically to be shocking and novel, ensuring they stand out in a crowded news feed. Another powerful factor is social proof. When we see that a lot of people, especially our friends and family, are sharing something, we're more likely to believe it's true. It's a mental shortcut. We think, if everyone is talking about this, there must be some truth to it. This creates a domino effect, turning a single piece of misinformation into a viral tidal wave. The digital age has put this on steroids. Algorithms on social media platforms are designed to show us what we'll engage with. And what do we engage with? Emotional, sensational, and polarizing content. The more outrageous the post, the more likes, comments, and shares it gets. The algorithm sees this engagement and pushes the content to even more people. It's a vicious cycle where misinformation is not just tolerated, but actively amplified for profit. Platforms want to keep you on their site, and nothing keeps you glued to the screen like outrage. So, we're up against our own brains' biases and powerful algorithms. It feels like a losing battle, right? But what if there's a better way? What if we could install a mental filter, a kind of personal fact checker for our brain? This is where an ancient concept from Islamic tradition comes in, a principle known as Tabayun. The word itself comes from the Quran, and it essentially means to verify, to investigate, and to ascertain the truth of a matter before acting upon it or passing it on. It's a direct command to not blindly accept information. Think of it as a mandatory pause button between seeing and sharing. So how do we apply Tabayun in the 21st century? It's not about becoming a professional investigative journalist for every tweet you see. It's about cultivating a habit of healthy skepticism and having a simple, practical checklist. Let's build our own modern Tabayun protocol. Step 1. Check your emotions. Before you even think about sharing, take a second. How does this post make you feel? Is it making you angry, scared, overly excited? Strong emotions are a red flag. Misinformation is designed to provoke a strong emotional reaction to bypass your rational thought. If your heart is pounding, that's your cue to slow down and be extra critical. Step 2. Who is the source? Don't just look at who shared it with you. Who originally created this information? Is it a reputable news organization with a history of journalistic standards? Or is it a random blog, an anonymous account, or a website you've never heard of? Look for an About Us page. Look for authors' names. If the source is obscure or has a clear agenda, your suspicion level should be high. Be wary of websites that look like real news sites but have slightly altered URLs. Step 3. Look for evidence. Does the article cite its sources? Does it link to original reports, scientific studies, or official documents? Does it just make vague claims like experts say or a study has shown? Real journalism shows its work. Fake news often relies on assertion without proof. If they are quoting a study, try to find the study itself. Often the headline wildly misrepresents the actual findings. Step 4. Can you find it elsewhere? This is a big one. Do a quick search for the headline or other independent, reliable news outlets reporting the same story. If a major event has truly happened, multiple news sources will be covering it. If you can only find the story on one or two questionable websites, it's almost certainly fake. This is called cross-referencing, and it's one of the most powerful tools you have. Step 5. Check the image. In the age of AI and Photoshop, images can be incredibly deceptive. You can use tools like a reverse image search. Just right-click on the image and search for it on Google. This can show you where the image originally came from. You might find that a picture being used to show a recent conflict is actually from a movie set or from a different event years ago. AI-generated images are getting harder to spot, but look for weird details like people with 6 fingers or unnatural-looking textures. Applying this Tabayun protocol isn't about being cynical. It's about being responsible. In our hyper-connected world, every share is an act of publishing. When you share something, you're vouching for it. You're telling your network, this is real and important. Sharing misinformation, even unintentionally, can have real-world consequences. It can stoke division, cause financial loss, incite panic, and even lead to violence. Think about the impact of health misinformation, false cures, anti-vaccine conspiracies. These aren't just harmless opinions. They can lead people to make dangerous health decisions for themselves and their children. Political misinformation can erode trust in democratic institutions and create a society where nobody knows what to believe. We are no longer passive consumers of information. We are active participants in its ecosystem. With that power comes a responsibility to be good digital citizens. Practice of Tabayun, or verification, is an act of mindfulness. It's a conscious choice to engage with the world more thoughtfully. It empowers you to be a source of clarity for your friends and family, not a source of confusion. When you see a friend sharing something that looks fishy, gently and privately send them a link to a fact-checking site like Snopes PolitiFact, or a reputable news source that has debunked the claim. You're not just correcting them, you're teaching them a skill. Fighting misinformation isn't someone else's job. It's our collective responsibility. It starts with each of us choosing to pause, to question, and to verify. By adopting our own Tabayun protocol, we can break the chain of fake news, protect ourselves, our communities and help build a more informed and frankly a more truthful internet. Let's make verification, not virality, our default setting. Thanks for joining this deep dive today. What are your strategies for spotting fake news? Share them in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for more content on thinking critically in a complex world. See you next time.